So the aim in today's stream is to look at the Drake Cutter and try and understand, is it the best starter ship of the game? In order to do that, I want to have a look at the different gameplay elements that we have, and basically assess from that, what can it do better than, say, the Mustang or the Aurora or the Pisces, and where does it struggle? I have a feeling I know where it's going to struggle and where it's going to excel, but we're going to find that out today by trying, at least one mission in each of them. So we're going to do a bunker mission. We're going to do a bunker mission. We're going to do some ship combat. We're going to I'm blanking on the other missions. Package runs. We're going to do a little bit of cargo trading, though at 4 SCU it's probably not worth it. So yeah, let's kind of assess where the Drake Cutter is at, and is it worth the $45 standalone or $49 in a pack. So right now we are in Quantum and we're heading towards Arc 1, which will take a little bit of time. The reason we're doing that is to get the VK00 quantum drive. So one of the great things about the Cutter is that it has an absolutely massive quantum fuel tank. So with the best quantum drive that you can put in it, the VK00, which we'll put in a sec, it will get us 278 million kilometers, which is more than enough for Stanton. When we get Pyro, we might want to go to a less fast one in order to actually be able to get somewhere. But it will allow us to get everywhere in Stanton, no dramas, which is really, really cool. And so it's something that's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to give that a go. And we'll give that a go. We'll give bunker missions. I think we're going to do bunker missions first. So we'll give a go for bunker missions. So since we have a fair bit of time, let's jump out of the seat and let's go have a look at what else is in the Cutter. So what we have on the left here is we have some weapons racks. So hopefully we're going to fill these up with some weapons from some of the missions that we do, particularly bunker missions. You have component racks here, obviously some empty ones, what look to be server blades here. Shouldn't be opening things, but yeah, they're probably going to be server blades, which is kind of cool. Not sure why you would want them in a ship this size, but it's fairly cool. If we go further back, if this door gets out of my way, you have some storage. So this opens up the ship storage. We have some more storage. Over here we have the toilet. Over here, very, very Drake in terms of its shower and the pop-out toilet. And then if you go further back, we then have the cargo bay with all of the components just exposed and ready for you to access. Again, we have some empty component bays here, and then we have the rear ramp that you can access. As with Drake, everything's fairly utilitarian style. We have the cargo netting on the side, which I doubt will ever be used, but it would be cool if it does. Now, in terms of the cargo grid, it's just these two squares here that we're looking at, and it's 4 SCU. However, there's a fair bit of other space. I know it's in the walkways and you'd be clambering over things, but there's a fair bit of more space that you could use. Bed, personal storage, one thing that I hadn't seen, or I haven't seen, is a suit locker. So I guess they're just expecting you to have your suit. So it's nice to have weapons, but would be even nicer if we had a suit locker somewhere as well. Maybe they could have fit it here. Might have gotten in the way. Probably would have gotten in the way. Or if they'd put it here, or maybe like over here and then move the cargo slightly along. In terms of vehicles that we can fit back here, we can fit a mule. Fit a mule back here. We can't fit anything else. We can obviously the Grey Cat vehicles. You can't fit a rock. So if you're planning on getting this to do mining, you will be limited by hand mining, which is obviously disappointing and not what we want. But the reason that I think that this is such a great ship, particularly at the moment with IAE, is if we pull over to the store for IAE and look at if we look at both the standalone packages for this ship. If I go to it, so standalone in this ship is $44. Warbond $49 if you're willing to pay with store credit. However, for that $49.50 price, which includes tax, because I am in Australia, if you go to game packages, you can get the IAE starter pack. Now this includes the cutter. It includes a paint for the cutter, which is the one that you can see here, this white paint that I have on this ship. Is the windshield, which I think is quite nice. You get LTI, so lifetime insurance. We're not entirely sure what lifetime insurance will do in the game. We think it's just going to be hull rather than all the components. I don't think it really makes sense on a ship like this. Nice because you get it for free. But it also means if you do decide to CC you up the chain to different things, it can be quite worthwhile. Obviously, you get the game, a hangar, and then 1,000 starting out for UAC. The other great thing with this at the moment is, say you get the game, you don't like it, there is a Warbond upgrade from this game package up to a C8R. So if I find the C8R Pisces, which a lot of people are absolutely loving. But you can go from your cutter, if I find the cutter, there it was, the cutter up to the C8R for $16, saving a little bit of money there with that Warbond option. I think it's $22 without C8R. So yeah, it's $22 or $16 US. I would pick the 16 US personally. And this is also a great little ship. So not only do you have the best possible starter ship, but you could get a CCU up to the C8R for fairly cheap, and get the C8R for fairly cheap. Like if we look at game packages, like your next option will be that, but then you couldn't upgrade to the C8R. So I would definitely look at the cutter starter pack with LTI. Which further do we have? So we're almost at Arc L1. We'll have to jump again to get to the station. And then we can get our VK00, which will massively increase the speed. I think it's 2.5 times the quantum speed of the stock drive. The Fire... What is the stock drive in this ship? The Foxfire. So the Foxfire is about 100,000 kilometers per second in quantum. The VK00 is like 280,000, so 2.8 times faster. Makes an absolutely massive difference. I think it takes Microtech's ArcCorp from like 11 minutes down to about 6. There's a bug at the moment where these two quantum points overlap, and so you have to jump. You kind of have to take a guess which one you're going to jump at. Once you've jumped to it, though, then you might have to jump again in order to get closer instead of flying into the system. So where are we? Yeah, so we're gonna have to jump again, but fairly short this time. The quantum fuel tank of the cutter is absolutely crazy. Stock drive is 1,000. 1,000 million, so a billion kilometers, which is just absolutely crazy. Definitely the best of the starter ships. When you go to something like the VK00, as we're about to do, it does drop to 280, but still at 280, that's just an absolutely crazy quantum range for having the absolute fastest quantum drive and one of the fastest quantum drives in the game. There are larger ships that have, obviously larger quantum drives at the same speed that can't even make the distance between Microtech and ArcCorp. So let's just request a landing hangar. There we are, over there. Now the ship is definitely fast in a straight line, but it does struggle with maneuvering. So it feels sluggish. It's fast straight when you're going straight, and then feels like resistant to change. Came in upside down then.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Fairly fast exit to the ship as well. So just the 2 doors and then get out. Not quite as fast as some of the others. You have to wait for the ramp and... But definitely not super slow, which is nice. Let's pull that ramp up. So here's a better look at that paint that you get as part of the pack. Now the engines on this are rather interesting. The engines are actually stolen off the Vulture, which was originally a prototype meant to just salvage a single ship, but then got so much press from it that people started to want more salvage ships, and then a different salvage ship crew actually struck big and got millions and millions and millions of Alpha UEC each. And because of that, everyone wanted a salvage ship, and so Drake pulled their one-off out of storage and then converted it into something that they could actually sell and make fairly cheaply, and that's how the Vulture came to be. But then when the new CEO took over and they were looking for a way to basically stick it to MISC because they don't like MISC. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Platinum Bay. They're basically looking to stick it to MISC, and so they grabbed, as with any Drake ship, they grabbed a bunch of components from different ships they had, and they grabbed the engines from the Vulture. This nice fancy VTOL engines. Okay, so let's grab a systems. Let's grab a quantum drive, the VK00. It's 43,000, and but let's not send things to my backpack. VK00, we're going to buy one. What other stuff can we buy here? Missile racks, fuel pods for the the MISC. I can't remember the name of that ship. The refueler, Starfarer. So that's cool. Now, once you bought a component, in order to equip it, you need to use this vehicle loadout manager. Now, I have terrible luck with getting this thing to work. I often have to hop servers in order to get it to work, which is quite frustrating. So we'll see. Can be slow. It just the sooner this works, they fix this. So you go systems, quantum drive, here's our VK00, save and equip. You can also see we can change the weapons. Now, because your loadout is stored at each server, because your inventory is by location, be that your ship, be that a station like this, none of my spare weapons are here. So I can't equip anything. But the badges are fine for now, for the stuff that we're going to do. So let's get this way. Let's go grab the cutter. And I think I'm all prepped for a bunker mission. So we'll fly over to, let's do Hurston. Fly over to Hurston and do a bunker mission in it.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Hang it to. So let's grab it. Cool. So now we have that new okay. Ship is floating in the air. So now we have that new quantum drive. This should be I'm gonna die. What was that? Okay, instead of dying, I'm gonna exit to menu and I'm going to hop servers. That should respawn me. Welcome to Star Citizen. So yeah, if you're ever stuck like that, particularly when you're in a station and you haven't gone anywhere, my ship should just be put back in storage because I logged out. All right, I jumped out of the server, and I will respawn in the same place with all of my gear. If I had died, then I probably would have lost all my armor, my weapons that I had on me. The ship itself would have been fine. It would have been put into storage, but I would have lost a bunch of stuff. So since I was still alive, but I was trapped somewhere that there was no way I was going to get out of, it made more sense for me to basically die. So still have all my stuff, still have my weapons, or my weapon in this case. Let's open this door and get out of here. So that's the lobby. We'll go call the Drake Cutter. And let's go do a bunker mission. Now, since I'm not doing this to gain... Since I'm not doing this to try and get credits, I'm not going to do the whole grab a box and stuff like that. I'm not going to grab a box, take it in with the tractor beam multi-tool and then go through and collect everything. I'll have a look through some of the stuff. See which one comes first. I have 0 bits in, so this is a 30k. So this server's gonna die. Ken, welcome to Star Citizen. Yeah, 30k. So in the top right, when you're actually in a server, if you have our display information on, like I do, there is a BWN. It'll come up soon when we actually get into the server. There's a BWN. Okay, let me restart the game, one sec. See if we can join this time. So yeah, so BWN is what I was talking about before. So basically, if this ever drops to 0.000 and stays there, then that means that the server has died. It's not sending you any information. Your client hasn't worked that out yet. And I'll take you a bit to catch up, but generally the signs with 30k. You can't interact with anything, doors are open, elevators aren't called. Your ship stops responding to you. You can still fly around, but your ship, say if you try and get out of your seat, anything like that, will stop responding to you. But we'll join back in, and hopefully the server survives a little bit longer than the last one. Cool, exit this way. And we'll go do some bunker missions.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
So our card is still here, which is nice. There's 30k protection in now, so things like for trading, it's absolutely massive when they brought that in. Because if you called a station or requested landing and then you had a 30k, then you'd be protected. In most cases, you were protected from a crash or 30k. You weren't protected as much from crash to desktop, but you still were, which was really nice. It was a nice addition.
Your vehicle has been delivered.
With the cargo factor, where am I going? Hang 3. The cargo factor. I'm really excited about cargo being a more viable mission. So, you know, it might turn into you start with a Drake cutter and you do a bunch of box missions and you deliver a bunch of stuff. Okay. I think because I left the engines on, that's what's causing those force reactions. So let's get up into the ship. Let's close our doors. Let's get out of here. Let's... Comms. I think our best bet is, let's go to Hurston. So see this no power issue. So what you can do is, once we're clear a little bit, you can turn your ship off, turn your ship back on, and then you'll have power. So the VK00 is the fastest. The downside to being so fast transiting is that it is very slow to spool and very slow to calibrate. So if you're on a ship that may not have as much range, but it's really quick to get in and out of quantum travel, then it's not the best option. You're better. There's a couple of other options that are better. The ship has a really nice touch as well. Not landing gear, deploy. It has armor. If I go around the front, it has these armored panels on the windscreen. So if I retract them, you can see they're gone. It's just such a nice touch. I love this cockpit with all of the details that you have in here. Keyboard for typing, quantum, G-safe limiter, cruise control. Exit. It's just so nice. Engine on, power, engine off. These warning lights. Such a nice interior. Level, the random wires going everywhere is so very, very Drake. So as we're heading to Hurston, let's have a look at the contracts we have available. So I'm going to accept a call to arms. And then once we get closer to Hurston, we'll be able to get a bunker mission and do a bunker mission. Now I don't have any meds, so he's hoping I don't die on this bunker mission. But bunker missions are a great way in a starter ship to earn money. At the highest end, you can get about 90k per bunker mission, plus inside the bunkers you'll find weapons and med pens and armor and a bunch of other stuff if you want to collect it all up and sell it. Selling is a bit painful at the moment because you have to go item by item. However, they have said that they're working on that, and things like a move all button. So currently, if you want to sell something, you move it into your ship inventory, and then you move to transport it back, and then you move it from your ship inventory to the station inventory, and then you sell it from the station inventory. Bit painful. particularly when it's, say, a bunch of weapons that you're selling for 3,000 each. But using bunker missions and you can get a bunch of money very, very quickly, and then you can get onto your next couple of ships, be that, say, a Buccaneer, or if you want to do rock mining, you could get a Drake Cutlass and a rock for 1.5, I think, all up. Or you could get a Prospector. I can't remember how much a Prospector is. I think 1.3, but I could have that wrong. Okay, so we're now in the Hurston system, so we should see a couple of new contracts. So you can see a bunch of new contracts. Under Mercenaries, we have these two. Under Bounty, so you don't want to do that. Haven't ever seen those, but they're cool. Lost in Space, Salvage Claims. So, Bounty Collection. So this gives us 9k, unknown risk. What else do we have? So this one here, security contractor evaluation. That's what we want. So we're going to track it. Where do we need to go? HDSF Tamer. So let's head down in our Drake Cutter. I think for me, having the additional space is going to be absolutely massive. You could have a couple of those cargo boxes, which you just couldn't in, say, something like an Aurora or a Mustang. You just couldn't in a Mustang. Let's head down. Which I think will make a massive difference to if you were actually trying to make money, because you'd create like a 2 SCU crate or a 1 SCU crate and take it down, and you would take it down into the bunker with you, grab all the stuff, load it into your ship. You could do a couple of those before having to go back in and then do a bulk sell. You could also store all of your weapons in the ship inventory, which I think is kind of cool, and that little armory can be set up so you don't have to carry your weapon on you all the time. Can't remember the key for lights. L. That makes sense. Since we're coming in at night, and we're coming in fairly steep, I don't actually want to, I don't want to hit the ground, basically. Run into a mountain. Because that would not be fun. Let's head down, let's slow down. Let's go do this bunker mission. I am really excited tomorrow for RSI Day. Check out the Galaxy that was announced on IC. If you haven't seen the IC yet, go watch the IC and have a look at the Galaxy. It looks like such a cool ship. I just want to see how it fits in and how it compares to ships like the Odyssey and the Carrack and that type of thing. I think we're really starting to see how they want to approach multi-crew gameplay. So here's the site here that we can start to see it. Now we're not going to get the turret firing at us because we're friendly. In some of the higher missions you will get the turret firing at you, so you need to deal with that. You know, that might be land a little bit further away with something like the cutter and then take out like a dragonfly. Cool. Great. Absolutely great landing there. I'm finding the VTOL engines to be interesting because they seem to be super powerful that you need to be careful with how much thrust you apply. That's not the key I want. Let's get our weapon up. Let's close the ramp up. And let's hope this lift works. It's been a while since I've done a bunk mission, so I'm going to take this fairly carefully. The guys with the arrow over the head are friendly. Five enemies remaining. It's a spawn closet. I'm just checking the spawn closets because I don't know where they will be. Let's head down. One hostile. So let's loot. some arms. Grab that med pan. I like that helmet. What are they? Shotgun mags. Why not? Where's the shotgun? Already have one of those shotguns. Since they're shooting that guy, I'm just... And then let's grab some of this clothing, because why not? Cool. Let's get out of here. So obviously throughout here as well, did I see any that I could show you? There will be loot boxes. A bunch of stuff that you can grab, which can be really useful. Work my way out. I'm slightly lost. So here, for example, is a loot box. So in here we might see, shotguns and, med guns. I grab like a pistol, a bunch of different helmets. Rifles, ammo, stuff like that. But yeah, so you'd wander around here. You'd get all of that salvage, everything that you could find. And then you would escape. I always get super turned around in bunkers and can never work my way out. I've walked past this area like 3 times. So yes, you would go around, you'd look for all of those crates that you could find, you'd loot them all. It's like, here's a medical one. So we'll have like med pens or med guns or, a lifeguard attachment for a multi-tool, a bunch of this paramed refill. You might choose to grab a med gun on your hip, oxypen, med pen. So by doing one of these as a new player, you end up with a lot of gear that can be super useful for you. But let's get out. Let's go back to the cutter. I'm still going to have my gun out only because I don't trust. You never know if someone's going to be out here. And then let's get back in the cutter. Let's go up to what and let's see what we can do. So I'm going to warp to an OM point is my aim. So let's find one. On that way. Do I not? Okay, warp to aerial. So let's boost our way out of here. Apply that straight line speed in VTOL. The reason I stop boosting just before it gets in the red is if you go into the red, it takes a much longer cooldown time. Versus if you go just above it, then it's much, much shorter and you actually get more boost. So those turn blue, so yeah, none of those looked like OM points. Let's go to aerial. And then let's grab some guns and put them in the rack. So fiddly trying to get it in the so is that gun guessing this is for larger guns, like the sniper. So that fits one gun, it probably fits two pistols as well. If I grab that pistol out of my inventory and equip it. Place a medical gun. And if I grab that pistol, where did that pistol go? Is that other pistol on the floor? Yeah. Grab. See, yeah, you can store your pistols, your med guns, your planet, your main gun, that you have. But because you also have the shelves here, I bet you there's nothing stopping you from placing. There you go. That is the Drake Cutter, the bounty mission kind of experience that took a lot longer than I expected, as this game nearly always does. So I'm going to jump off. Next time we will be trying out some ship-to-ship combat, which should be fun. So we'll give that a go in the next stream. Until then, I'll catch you guys then.